So, hey guys, Chauzu here. Time for yet another deep dive ahead of the 10th anniversary Super Sugo Fest. And today we're going to look at the new Super Sugo Fest exclusive Shanks. And honestly, he's probably the one I'm most interested in. And after doing this deep dive, I'm honestly even more excited. Like yesterday when I talked about Luffy, I talked about the struggle of team building with the Luffy. And like Shanks is night and day. Shanks has so many options, both in terms of like synergy in terms of captain abilities, synergies in terms of kits, very easy to fit EX units and stuff. So yeah, Shanks is a dream in comparison. So yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. So Shanks is a Psi cerebral slasher with a rush and an EX. He also has hunger, and it feels like Bandai made a mistake here. Like this hunger should be on the Luffy and Shanks should have the slot bind. I don't know how this happened. Like this hunger makes no sense to me. And Shanks will really appreciate a ship bind considering his captain ability. Crit, just like the other Anni units, he has a perfect crit, which is better than nothing. But as I say every time, crit is still not one of the most, or one of the potential abilities you want, really. And a rush, which we'll look at later. Captain ability. So you're going to see some similarities with Luffy and Ace, of course. But the unique ability of this Shanks is that any ship special you have is set to max, which is going to be one of the main uses of this Shanks together with the rest of his strong kit. But I'm super excited about this, so we'll talk briefly about ships later as well to use with this. You also boost Shanks attack by 6.25 times. Psi cerebral slashers get a 6 times attack boost. 1.35 times HP boost. Other characters 4.5 times attack boost. Index slots becomes Psi slots, and I've not even thought about that a lot. Like there's really no negative to that I can see. Like the int thing in particular is really good because it means you can't have any badly matching int orbs, so that's really good. Makes Psi tandem slots and matching slot effects. Reduces bind by 10 turns, so yeah, bind is really good. Of course, one of the better resistances you can have in a capped ability, so we take that for sure. If you use a special to boost color affinity, you extend it by 1 turn. Shanks can do a 2-turn color affinity, so that's 3 turns, so similar to Luffy and Ace. If the character is captain, and that's only your own captain, not friend captain or anything, and use the special, he becomes a 6.5 times attack booster instead, which is obviously really, really strong. So yeah, the only bad thing with this captain ability is that there's no seed reduction, but obviously you have the option of pairing this Shanks with something like the Ace potentially to reduce CD. Then again, maybe not the best synergy unless you get to the final stage. But yeah, it is the main drawback. And Shanks has very, very high CD too. So yeah, that is definitely a negative to keep in mind. As for his, what do we look at first? We can do the EX. And this EX only requires 2, which I think is funny because Luffy needs 3. Luffy is so much harder to team build with, even not taking account needing 3 specific units. And Shanks is so easy to team build with, but you only need 2. So, and we have a lot of good options like Luffy, Roger, all of the red hair pirates, Mihawk and Uta. Like, it's very easy to build with this Shanks, that's for sure. The EX is good as well. He reduces intimidation by 2 turns, the first in the game that can remove that debuff. We have other abilities that removes enemies' defensive effects by 1 turn, and that includes intimidation, so like 6-star Gear 5 Luffy and such. But yet this is the first time we can remove 2 turns. Not sure how useful this will be. I feel like Intimidate is usually a bit more than that. And he also has the ability to change shooter or fighter first classes to cerebral. And again, this is so you can use Luffy, Ace, Shanks together. Sai cerebral slashers get a 2.5 times ore boost for 2 turns. And Sai becomes Super Sai and Cerebral becomes Super Cerebral. So this basically means that with Shanks as captain, he handles Call Affinity himself and ore boost with the super, so you mainly want to build around the rest, unless you build with the batch in mind and try and get 6 times meme buffs and such. So yeah, as for the action special, does a lot of damage to all enemies, ignoring all defensive effects and defense. Reduces damage reduction by 10 turns. And I said I'm not the biggest fan of just removing one of these debuffs, but better than nothing. Reduces barrier by 3 turns as well, which is good. Changes cruise loss including block to Sai, which is good. This Shanks is one of the few units dispatched that does full board orb manip, so that's going to be nice to have. If you have type effect boost when specialist launch, you get a shame boundary. So sadly you can't get both at the same time unless you have a weak Call Affinity applied that can be overwritten. But yeah, the main buff you're going to go with Shanks is his Call Affinity for Sai Cerebral Slasher for 2 turns. And if you use the action specialist call, you can get up to a 4 times Call Affinity. And like just thinking those words, like 4 times Call Affinity, like this is like one of the biggest power creeps we've had in terms of like individual buffs. We're going from like 3 times Call Affinity was still super duper impressive. And we jump right to 4 times Call Affinity. And if you combine this with the Ace, I think it is, you can get up to 6 times Call Affinity. Like it's just... So yeah, it's actually amazing. And like Call Affinity is not the most hype buff, but having such an extremely high one that nobody else can compete with really makes Shanks stand out a lot anyway. And it is an important buff, like not much to talk about, like buffing Chain, Attack, Orb, Call Affinity, it's like the main buffs you go for when building teams. And of course you can also increase attack boost by 1.5 times. And there's a lot of strong attack boost in the game, and like if you have a 3.5 times attack boost from some other unit, you can easily buff it way above 4 times attack boost, while also giving 4 times Call Affinity and having a good ore boost in the super. So yeah, this Shanks is really good. I like him a lot. Crewmate ability, 150 extra stats, side-handed matching, and you see it by 1. So basically the same as Luffy, but very good. Rush looks same as Luffy. So basically I compared Luffy with the Sanji for the 1-tap rush, first tap rush, and with Gear 5 Luffy on the 6-tap rush. From what I can see, Shanks looks the same almost. I did notice with Luffy that he had like 0.01 on the rush multiplier for the first hit on both level 1 and level 5, but for Shanks it seems to be 0.1, just like Luffy and Sanji, Gear 5 Luffy and Sanji. So I'm not sure if it's just the new Luffy who is bugged, the new Gear 5, but yeah, basically the thing I concluded in the last video is that if you go for the first tap, you basically get the same effect as using the rush Sanji, the first rush we got. And if you go for the final rush hit instead, you basically get as a strong hit as the OG 6 plus Gear 5 Luffy, so a really strong hit. But of course, unlike the 6 plus Gear 5 Luffy, you won't hit type effectiveness against everything. So that's important to keep in mind. But yeah, the good thing with Rush is that the difference between level 1 and level 5 is not that big. Like if you see the difference on the finish tap multiplier, like level 1 is 2.5, level 5 is 3, like it's not a big difference. You get almost the same damage, so yeah, very cool. Basically, with 6+ Gear 5 Luffy, you usually say that a 6+ Gear 5 Luffy with that Sabo base attack support does more damage than Rush level 5, so yeah, very impactful. Support is cool, same units as in the EX, and if they use a special to boost attack, you buff the buff by 1.2 times up to 3 times, so yeah, as I said with Luffy, supports like this will see use, so cool option to have. But yeah, let's look at some partners, and I feel like I could have listed quite a few, but yeah, I set up for 5 pages, so like 25 units. First, I looked at some Psy units with matching captain abilities, like they synergize well as captains. But honestly, it's not just that. All of these synergize well with specials as well, like Uta. Probably the best one here because Uta, and if you know me, you know I think this Uta is really good, like one of the best legends of last year. And she's great with the Shanks, like she is able to resist the spear and special bind, while Shanks handles bind, of course. Uta does attack boost and delay conditional. Shanks does aura boost and call affinity, like they're a match made in heaven. She even has a super tandem that includes Shanks, like they are so good together. They are amazing together. And the others aren't bad either, like Roger resists the spear, binder spear, obviously really good. He does the attack boost that Shanks doesn't do, like there's not much more to ask. He can even ensure you keep buffs, like if you use Shanks call affinity on an earlier stage, carried over to final stage, Roger can block it from getting removed, so really good. Stampede Luffy not only resists the spear, but paralysis, so with the new Shanks resist bind, the spear, paralysis, which is obviously really good. Obviously the synergy is not as great here, but Luffy himself can add an attack boost himself to give some good damage. Nami resists paralysis, gives some unique buffs that synergize well with Shanks. And Whitebeard also resists. There's so many the spear resist. Whitebeard 2 can also give Shame Boundary. Pretty cool. Moving on, we have some Cerebral Slashers to use together with. We have another Uta, not as good synergy here. It's Para and Special Reverse Resist, which is useful. Special doesn't synergize as well though, since, well, it does do an ore boost, but it's bigger than Shanks' own, so might be good anyway. And also does that attack boost. Zoro Sanji, well, if you use them as captain, you resist fear, but this will mostly be as sub. But yeah, even as a sub, really good, can buff the ore boost from Shanks, also get their own attack boost, and give all of the chain boost you need. Scabbards, talked about them with Roger as well. Even better together with Shanks. Resist attack down, their attack boost actually can help. And the final tap, really good if you run a slasher team. We also have Roger Oden. So another Roger, which works, and yeah, can give an attack boost, also resist the spear. I'm not really interested in this hybrid, but I felt like it's worth highlighting at least. One I'm really excited about though is Vegapunk. Vegapunk and Shanks might be pretty goated together. Like, you can get Vegapunk's attack boost, maybe the chain boost or something else together with that. He also resists paralysis. Bind overlaps though, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think it could be pretty cool. But yeah, but double bind, like, doesn't feel as good. But yeah, definitely can work. Then we have some units that can synergize well with special. Obviously Robin here, so you can stack conditional. Not much else to say. V2 Shanks, pretty cool, since you can get a 3-turn attack boost, 3-turn chain boost, 3-turn base attack boost, all buffs you don't get for the Psy Shanks, the new Anni Shanks. So pretty cool synergy. Kid Law, really big attack boost that Shanks can then buff further up towards 4 times, which is really cool. Super swap for turn chain boost, they can set defense to 0, just need some support. They have support themselves to get a death down conditional. Super Tandem Sorrow allows you to get Super Tandem, potentially an increased damage taken plus conditional if you run him as captain, and an attack boost which Shanks doesn't give. Boa can also give an attack boost or a chain boundary, and also can remove that annoying pain debuff. Then we have some units that you can use for the EX, and another Luffy, like we have 6+ gear 5 Luffy again. Resist the spear, so you have bind the spear. And of course, as said, using this gear 5 Luffy, you can make Shanks work with the rest of the Anni batch as well in terms of buffs, so very solid in that regard. Roger Whitebeard can set up a big attack boost with them. Cool work. Kaido isn't boosted, there's no Kaido that is boosted by Shanks, but you can give increased damage taken, so that's cool. Put cross skill here, both Buggy and Mihawk, which is EX4 Shanks. Don't think they're a great synergy, but there's not many good Buggies to work with Shanks. Same for Blackbeard, this is basically the only Blackbeard that is boosted, but it's not a bad unit, decent utility. Big Mom also boosted, have a few options. I think the 6+ V2 is the best, base attack boost and chain lock. We have Mihawk to remove the def up, give attack boost with level limit break, pretty cool. Then we have the film Red Hair Pirates in Beckman and Luckaroo, as well as Usopp, Yasop. Both work very well with the Shanks, perfect overlap basically. And we have another Uta in this Uta Luffy Makinos, another Luffy as well. So there are a lot of units with Shanks, and of these I've shown, there's not many where I feel like it's iffy synergy, like they synergize really well. Shanks just places really well in the current metagame. As for ships, let's just mention a few. The thing you have to keep in mind with ships is that they just started adding specials to every ship. So Shanks will just have more and more and more options in terms of ships. But from those we have now, some we can mention is like Orjaxon, Para Removal. She'll also get a buff special in the future. We have the side ship Hin, can reduce CD for size, so you can get that from the beginning. We also have Megalo, which with buffs changes block orbs to rainbow and locks them, so that's free powerful orb manip that you can get for unchangeable orbs. Let's see if I can remember the rest I was thinking about. Oh yeah, Thousand Sunny, you get a free attack boost, and Shanks doesn't do attack boost, so that can be pretty decent option. Another cool thing is Coffin Boat, which was pretty useless up until now, but they added a special for it, -2 CD to slashers. So if you run a slasher team with Shanks, you can just pop this, speed up the team, or you can just counter special reverse later. And I think Coffin Boat at level 12+2 also does -2 CD for slasher, so both a speedrun ship and counter special reverse, or make it a -4 CD ship, which Shanks kinda needs. So yeah, Coffin Boat just rose up in the viability. Like, it's not a high priority for me, but it became a lot more fun at least. Finally, let's take a look at PvP. Gonna be real, I haven't looked at him much today ahead of this video. I remember, well, him not being the best in PvP, but let's double check if I remember right. And yeah, Cerebral, Powerhouse, Slasher driven. HP up level 7, attack up level 7, recovery up level 7, cell speed up level 5, def up level 5. Cool that he boosts so many classes, even if it's a bit weird. But yeah, like, def up only for himself is pretty unfortunate. Like, I don't think this is the best ability. Like, an ability like this needs to be carried by a great special. Target Cerebral, Powerhouse, Slasher driven teammates for attack up level 5, speed up level 5, def up level 5, shield level 3. Targets attack style teammates for special CT 20% reduction, and targets one enemy with low defense for attack 4 times damage. And this is also one of those special which is some things are really good, like a lot of buffs for quite some time, including shield, which is really strong. Like special CT reduction is strong, but it's just 20%. There's some that are much lower, and it's only for attack style teammates, and that's just an annoying restriction. You never have to think about stuff like that. Now we have to think about it. Could be good depending on the team, and it only hits one enemy. Like the enemy hits will probably go down, but it's still just one enemy, so the CT is also not that bad, so could work, but yeah, I'm not impressed, at least personally. Those are the other abilities. As for GP stats, Cerebral Powerhouse Slasher Driven, Attack, HP, CT, and Crit. It's cool that everything gets all the buffs, and that you can build a lot of cool archetypes. So I actually think this would be a pretty fun leader to use, since like Cerebral is good right now, Slasher is good, Driven has a lot of good stuff, maybe Powerhouse now with Luffy as well, so yeah, pretty interesting. Only need to use 3 specials, that's very easy, can use it 4 times as well. Cerebral Powerhouse Slasher Driven gets attack up level 6, speed up level 6, death up level 6. Team gets special CT 20% reduction, and one enemy is hit hard, ignoring defense for 4 times damage. So basically Shanks special, but on any team multiple times. I think this will be fun to use. Like, I don't think this is like a top 5 leader or anything, but could be really cool. But yeah, that's my deep dive into Anni Shanks. Let me know what you think. Are you impressed? Do you look forward to trying him out? Let me know down in the comments. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.